what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smart, and I'm bringing you the whole slop, and nothing but the motherfucking slop. Alright, so, y'all ready to do this, man? Last night was a no bueno. That was horrible. That was a one-match card. I'm hoping, and I'm hearing people say this, and I'm crossing my fingers. I don't know this to be the case, but maybe this could be a scenario where Triple H understood that card was determined to fail from the get-go, and he put all the bullshit on one night and the top-heavy stuff on night two. Now, I don't know how true that is, and if that's true, that says a lot about Triple H. But at this point, I'm willing to take anything. I'm okay with that if that happens to be the case. Just a quick skim. We have Io, Rhea, and Bianca for the Women's Championship. We have Bron Breakker, Finn Balor, Penta, and Dominik Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. We have Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Lyra, Valkyria, and what's obviously going to be Becky Lynch for the Women's Tag Team Championship. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a street fight match. Who's going to be the mystery opponent for Randy Orton? And we have the main event, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena, which seems to be a bit divisive going into this off rip. Like it seems to be a bit. I've been having the pre-show in the background while doing clothes and doing laundry and shit. From what it sounds like, it really sounds like the crowd is starting to boo him already. So this is going to be a very interesting night. Last night the crowd was completely and utterly fucking dead. I'm hoping this crowd's going to be a lot better. Bruh, goddamn, Randy Orton's wife looks finer than a bitch. Is that his wife? Good Lord have mercy. Oh, I didn't know she was Hispanic though. But yeah, this looks like it's gonna be one of those nights, boys. I'm just crossing my fingers. I know in hindsight, looking at this card, it looks like kind of a clusterfuck as far as having all these multi-man matches. Or multi-women matches in this case. This is the second triple threat match we're going to be getting. We got a fatal four-way match. We got a tag team match. Got a street fight match. But at this point, I'm so desperate for WrestleMania to succeed. I'll accept it. You know what? Typically, I will look at a card like this and I would absolutely fucking blast it. But considering that, WWE in particular doesn't do this very often as far as just like the crash test type of booking. And considering that WrestleMania last night was so dog shit, you guys understand, let's just say this show ends up being a 10. Last night's show was so bad that if tonight ends up being absolutely fucking perfect, which it won't because it already has a bad lead-in coming into it, so automatically it has points taken off of it. But let's just say in a scope, this show, let's say this was a 9, right? Like a 9.5 show, which I've never graded ever in my life. Let's just say, hypothetically, that happens to be the case, right? And again, never did that. I even gave WrestleMania 17 a 9. I've never given a show a 9.5 ever in my life. If it were to even do that, WrestleMania last night was so bad that I probably would have to average this out to like an 8. It would still be considered to me a middle-of-the-road WrestleMania as a whole when you average it in as a median because of how bad last night is. But like I said, I'll take it for what it is. Cross your fingers, folks. We're going in this night 2 WrestleMania. Just give me something that I can go to sleep on. Let's go. Okay, that genuinely shocked me. I didn't think that Io was going to win. And not only did I think Io was going to win, I didn't think she was going to pin Bianca Belair in order to do it. That shocked the fuck out of me. That actually shocked the fuck out of me. So we're all in agreement, right? It's not even fucking close. Easily the best women's match of the weekend. Like, is it really a fucking question? Like, so far, this is the second best match on WrestleMania, period. This is only behind the original triple threat match last night. These girls went out there and they kicked ass. They kicked ass. And you know what? All credit in the world to Io Sky. She probably deserved that win, if anything. Yo, that girl throughout the match, she got the fucking shit beat out of her. Bro, they were just ragdolling Io Sky. Oh my god, bro. They were just ragdolling her. She took the fucking belly to back suplex into the German release off the turnbuckle. She fucking took that wicked ass. She tried to go for the over the moonsault on fucking Rhea Ripley. I actually like this move a lot. She got kicked in the face, right? And when she got kicked in the face, she backed up right into a KOD. And then she tried to go for a poison Rana on Rhea Ripley on the top turnbuckle. Like a reverse poison Rana off the top. Like Bayley and Sasha, right? And Rhea just like reverse Alabama Sam there on top of the pole. Like, bro, Io got the shit kicked out of her in this match. Just the dog shit kicked out of her. And by the way, I just want to say this. One thing that I did notice, and I'm trying to think to myself, maybe someone like a Roxanne Perez, but like, I think, and this is just me personally, I think Rhea, Bianca, and Io, they might legitimately be three of the best women sellers in all of WWE. So they're in this match, and like, Io's the one that's ragdolling the most because she's the smallest, but like Rhea and Bianca Belair, they're selling their asses off too. It was one spot in this match where Bianca was like on her knees. No, excuse me, Rhea Ripley was on her knees, right? And Bianca just fucking, like, that was, you know, as fun as it was for Io to be a part of this, right? And Io was a fantastic participant in this match. Nothing against Io whatsoever. This is no shade at Io. I really want that Bianca and Rhea Ripley match one-on-one. I really, really want that match. It was a spot in that match where you had Rhea Ripley on her knees, and you had Bianca yelling at her, saying, "I'm better than you. I've always been better than you." And she started shoving her in the face. And then Rhea just stole her ass. And then fucking Bianca stole her right back. And then they're like, actually, it looks like they're actually hitting each other. I think they actually are. They're potatoing the shit out of each other. And then Rhea just spat. I don't know if no one noticed that. She spat at Bianca Belair before Bianca, like, you know, kicked her in the face. Like, I want that Rhea and Bianca one-on-one match. That has to be at SummerSlam. Hopefully they get around to doing that. But the finish came, which was fucking brutal. Bianca ends up hitting the KOD on Rhea Ripley. She cradles her, right? She hooks her leg. She pulls her in. And Io Sky hit, mind you, she has a what's the best, like in a Rana, like, you know, like a Frankensteiner, and then you hold on to the legs, like they're in that position, and Io hits an over the moonsault on them in that position. It looked nasty because it's like Rhea is in that position with her legs up in the air while Bianca has her like cradled, right? Like a rolling prawn pen down there. And Io hits it. And you have this woman flying through the air with her full body weight collapsing on your thighs while they're up in the air. And then like Rhea's legs are like above Bianca's head because of the way she's pinning her. So it's like she kind of moonsaulted her legs on top of Bianca Belair's head. It was a nasty finish. That was a great match. That was good. I very much enjoyed that. That was fucking dope. That was dope. That was dope. This is, again, I can't stress this enough. It's not even fucking close. Like fucking Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton, it doesn't even snip the right butt cheek of this match. And as much as I liked Naomi and Jay, I wouldn't say as much. You know, I liked the match, but it doesn't even come close to this match right here. And I highly doubt the tag team match is going to come close to this match. So kudos to all the women, man. This is already better than night. This match alone is already better than almost all of night one minus the main event match. Actually, it's better than night one minus the main event match. And the crowd was way more hyped for this match also. So, like I said, kudos to them. I'm probably going to end up giving this match 3.5 stars. Yeah, it was that good. This is probably going to get 3.5 stars. These women went out there and they fucking killed it. But like I said, for future reference, I really, 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 as much as I enjoy Io, as much as I really don't have a problem for winning the match also, she can go on a little nice run. I need that Rhea and I need that Bianca one-on-one match. I don't care if it's for the championship. I don't care if it's just a one-on-one standard match. I need that Rhea and Bianca Belair one-on-one match. Don't know where we're going to get there. but we need to get there. All right? All right. Continuing on. I think coming up next, I could be wrong, but I think it's Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, if I caught the match card right. So, looks like we might be having another fun match. So, let's get to it, boys. This is already turning out to be so much better than last night. Thank God. Alright, folks, so it's already been the second match on WrestleMania Night 2, and it's already better than WrestleMania Night 1. Pack it up, boys. This show's already better than Night 1. So, I'm already satisfied. If every match ends up being terrible tonight, these first two matches already knocked it out of the fucking park. This was awesome. This was awesome. They beat the dog shit out of each other in this match too. Holy shit, bro. Holy fuck. This was awesome, man. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not that big of a fan of using weapons throughout the match, but at least it served the purpose. At least the feud in itself called for. There was no gimmicky bullshit like Hollywood written on the table and using stupid ass spots like thumbnails and glass and stupid shit. It was standard weapons that fit the context of the story, and they utilize it in a fantastic manner. This is how you do a hardcore match. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I love how fucking fluid it was. Everything about this match was awesome. Now, something else that I don't like, and I know it's going to be a problem going throughout the years in the Triple H era, like, bro, it bothered me last night too, but it really is bothering me right now. All these fucking logos, bro. All of these fucking logos they're nauseating. And like having Drew come out to show for their stupid ass video game. I know why they have to do it. I get it. I understand. But man, this was a serious feud. Why are you doing all this stupid shit surrounding it is beyond me. I know why, but it's really fucking annoying. That's the only knock I have to have. And it had nothing to do with these guys, so it's not a knock on them. But they started off the match beating the dog shit out of each other. Like just throwing fists, going directly to the rampway, suplex directly on top of that. You got steel steps being brought into the ring. I like the angle. I don't know if they did this on purpose, like if this was a callback, but it kind of felt like it just because of how it was like worked. It kind of felt like when because I don't know if y'all ever seen the match before. I'm pretty sure the majority of you seen it with Cactus and Triple H in the Hell in a Cell match. They did the spot where like Triple H like threw the stairs at Cactus out of camera view. They did the same thing here. I don't know if that was on purpose or it just happens to be a coincidence, but Drew threw the stairs at Damian Priest out of camera view. I bust out fucking laughing. And speaking of busting out laughing, fucking Drew McIntyre pulls out, I think that they said it's his brother. He took his brother's cell phone and took a picture of himself and got a selfie on it, and he posted it directly to social media. And it says something like "still bored at work," and it got like 130,000 likes in like fucking 5 minutes or something crazy like that. It's what I posted on the community post if you want to check it out. But they started to do more spots. They brought out 2 tables, which played into the finish. Drew McIntyre ended up hitting Damian Priest with a couple of chair shots. Damian did it right back to him. Eventually, it led to Drew McIntyre on top of the stairs, the flatter part, the lower part, hitting a Future Shock DDT on Damian Priest on the flat part of the stairs, which Damian ended up kicking out of. He also kicked out of a Claymore kick early on when he threw the chair at Drew McIntyre, but it was in a very, very awkward way. Like, he didn't throw it. Like, when you throw the chair at somebody's face, it's supposed to be like the part that goes outwards. You know, like, not the ridge part, but the flatter part. That's supposed to hit you in the face, and I guess he didn't throw it correctly, so McIntyre just responded, "Hey, you're gonna box something, I'm not gonna just sit there and let you redo the fucking spot." Hit him directly with a fucking Claymore kick, but he didn't get a lot out of it because he was standing right next to him. So, you know, Damian Priest kicked out of it like you're supposed to, right? You fuck up a spot clearly, and you just regroup yourself and you just continue on. Perfect, per fucking professionals, right? Then we get close to the finish, right? Where you had Damian Priest walking up. So first he ended up hitting the Razor's Edge on Drew McIntyre off the turnbuckle through a table that was outside of the ring too, which Drew kicked out of. But I guess maybe some of those tables had some splinters on them because he started bleeding from his back, which is fine. It is what it is. Eventually we got Damian Priest doing the Undertaker's old school. And while he's walking up the ropes, I guess he does it in a different way, like a hurricane runner or something. But while he's walking up there, Drew pushed him off the ropes, and then he fell through 2 tables on the outside of the ring, right? While he's getting back in the ring, right, Drew helps him up. There's a chair wedged into the turnbuckle. Drew takes this man's head, puts it in between the chair and the ropes, and he Claymore kicks his head into the chair that's wedged into the corner, which just completely destroyed Damian Priest, and then Drew McIntyre ended up picking up the win. This was again one of those matches where I would have I think it went the perfect amount of time, considering it's the second match on the card, and compared to some of the other feuds, I guess in the hierarchy it's not as big of a deal from that perspective, you know what I mean? But it was still a solid enough feud where it needed this, with all the shit that they were going through these past couple of weeks, it needed this stipulation. And Drew McIntyre picking up the win in such a fucking brutal way, and all the stuff that made this match, this was good. This was fun. This was fun. This got that JBL Finley Belfast brawl triple threat hardcore match at WrestleMania 17 spot, and they fucking took it and they ran with it. They knew they were in a spot where it was unfavorable towards people, because typically the opener gets the crowd really, really hot, which the triple threat did that. And the crowd was hot for this match. I can't remember the last time a crowd was hot for a second spot on the card. But to be fair, they did have, a stipulation tied to it. So it's not like it was a hard thing to do. Good job to both guys. Beat the dog shit out of each other. And like I said, this show, it's already head over heels better than last night's WrestleMania for what it's worth. But coming up next, we got another banger, it looks like. We got the Fatal 4-Way match for the Intercontinental Championship. Please keep the matches coming, man. Keep it coming. You're already redeeming yourself. Already doing it. Holy shit. That was the only match so far that actually had me on the edge of my seat. When I picked Dominik in the predictions, that was more so me just wishful thinking that'd be pretty cool if Dominik Mysterio wins. I have no clue who's actually going to win the match. To be honest with you, my heart and my brain kind of said to myself, it's going to probably be, my brain said it's going to be Bron Breakker, but my heart said Dominik Mysterio. So I went with that, and he fucking won, bro. That's awesome. And what's funny? The ironic part about it? It's not just the fact that Dominik, and obviously his image is influenced by Mamacita Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. He's getting over in a very similar way as Eddie Guerrero also. If any of you grew up with Eddie, obviously you would know that he started off as a heel. He came in with the Radicals and all that other kind of stuff. And he did the stuff with China. Each time, we're talking about 2003 Eddie when he turned babyface. And we're talking about 2001 Eddie when he started to get over like a babyface, even though he was still technically a heel. Same way. The thing with... And they did a great job building up Dominik Mysterio to this point. The crowd was all behind him. They booed everybody, and they were just all behind Dominik Mysterio. Because Dominik Mysterio is an actual character. And like I said, with Eddie, he gets over like him because his character is essentially I'm a piece of shit degenerate. I'm a punk-ass kid. And I'm honest about how much of a fucking punk I am. And the crowd just resonates with that shit. And I'm not gonna lie. That Intercontinental Championship looks good on Dominik, bro. He actually, it's funny. I'm looking at him right now. He actually legitimately looks look at him. He's so happy, bro. He deserves, I'm sorry, bro. I'm happy for Dominik. He deserves this, bro. Damn, bro. We watched this man grow up playing PSP on TV to now being the Intercontinental Champion. He actually, because of how the belt is designed a little bit, it legitimately looks like, maybe to me, it looks like Eddie Guerrero in 2002 updated. The Oval World, the Oval Intercontinental Championship, my favorite title belt design of all time. It looks like Eddie holding that belt in 2002, and there's the next generation of that look and that aesthetic is now Dominik Mysterio holding that belt. I hope he has a great run with the IC Championship. He's going to be a star, bro. Dominik Mysterio is going to, if he's not already a star, but a bigger star. And he's so young also. And I'm sorry, I kind of got lost in the sauce glazing Dominik. This match was awesome. Again, this is the only match, because not even the main event had me like this last night, because how predictable the finish was going to be. This is the only match that I can say so far had me on the edge of my seat. I didn't know who was going to win the match. I didn't know. I didn't. After Bron Breakker fucking destroyed Carlito, like, Carlito was standing on top of the announcement table, and Bron ran off one announcement table, jumped in the air, and speared Carlito, and it collapsed the announcement table on the opposite side. Oh, look, the old school Intercontinental Championship on shop, as I'm saying it. But Bron was a beast in this match. Penta looked like he belonged in WWE. Finn Balor played his role as the old guard. And Dominik Mysterio, man, it's his time. It's his time. Just such a fantastic match. This was fun. This was fun. Like I said, everything just had me on the edge of my seat. This was just really, really fun. And again, I don't know if this is the same crowd from yesterday or if this is more so like a different crowd and they're just registering it all differently. Like, I love how everybody got their time to shine. Everybody did their thing. Bron Breakker still looking like a beast, you know. But the finish essentially came where you had Finn Balor. Well, yeah, you had Finn Balor hit the coup de grace on Bron Breakker, and while he was going for the pinfall, here comes Dominik Mysterio with a frog splash on Finn Balor in the middle of the actual pinfall, and he picked up the win. He picked it up. And like I said, Buddy legitimately looks like a new age Eddie Guerrero. I see him with the belt and everything. It's just, I don't know, maybe it hits different for me. Yeah, Dominik is this generation. You know, for the 20-year-olds out there, Dominik is your guy. I get it. I understand. But you know, I look at Dominik and how he looks, and he's holding that IC championship, and it does make me a little bit, you know, nostalgic, you know, because again, that was Eddie. You know, everything how Dominik looks right now, that was Eddie back in the days. So it's like, it got me a little bit nostalgic to actually see something like that. And you know, I'm just happy for Dominik. I'm just very, very happy for him. I hope he has a great reign. I hope he has a prosperous reign. One of the few people out there who actually one of the few young people, let me say that again. One of the few young people out there that gets it. He's all about the character work. He's all about getting people to hate him. And look, they hated him for so long. As always, when it comes to these things, you earn their respect because you're so good at what you do as far as making the crowd hate you. Now they love you. It's a tale as old as time. It's a tale as old as time, going all the way back to Rocky, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're so good at being the bad guy, you end up being the good guy. I'm very curious as to how that's going to go in the future, though. Like, is it going to be a situation where the Judgment Day are going to turn on Dominik Mysterio? I think it'd be poetic justice, considering Finn Balor, you know, joined the group initially to kick out Edge. It'd be poetic justice if Dominik Mysterio were to, like, you know, kick out Finn Balor. Not to mention, if you know the history of the Judgment Day, you know, how ironic would it be where, like, eventually they got Dominik to join, but remember, they spent so much time trying to coerce Dominik Mysterio to join the Judgment Day, and then he eventually does. He eventually does join the Judgment Day, only to be the only original member still standing in the Judgment Day. Think about it. Original in the sense that all the people that were there originally, you know, Edge, eventually it turned out to be Rhea, and then Damian, then Finn, then Dominik, and then Edge got kicked out, obviously, for those four. How ironic would it be where the only person left standing in that original four Judgment Day is the guy that never wanted to join the group to begin with? You know what I mean? Or it could be even more ironic, and they jumped him in, and then they end up jumping him out. He has so much story that he could tell with that. And, you know, eventually that feud with Finn and Dominik, it's going to be very emotional. Again, I'm ready for this, bro. I'm ready for this, man. I'm ready for his run. Just congratulations to Dominik Mysterio. This was a fucking awesome match. Go back and watch it. I don't think I'm really doing it justice as far as explaining it. I'm more so talking about the implications of him being the Intercontinental Champion. But do yourselves a favor and go check out this match. This was fucking awesome and fucking great WrestleMania so far. It's funny how night one was so goddamn terrible. And so far, night two WrestleMania, it's probably the best WrestleMania I've seen in probably the last decade. But What a stark contrast to a show. What a great fucking show so far. Continuing on though, what a great show. Okay, hear me out. Hang on, because I know you got some people out there who are losing their fucking minds right now. They're losing their minds right now. They're saying to themselves, Randy Orton just completely buried TNA. Okay, hang on for a second. One, I like the surprise. I just want to throw it out there first and foremost. I like the surprise. I liked it. It was Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry got a huge pop. He came out. The crowd knew who he was. They sung his lyrics. They waved their hands side to side. Oh, he RKO'd him again. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I was gonna say they didn't bury TNA, and then while I'm recording this, Orton RKO Joe Hendry again. Oh, so this is awkward. I had this whole thing planned that I was gonna say about him looking good against Randy Orton, and okay. Okay. So Joe Hendry came into the ring. He did some stuff. He turned around and did his little camera zoom in shot when he's smiling, and Orton came in camera view and RKO'd him. It wasn't really a match. It probably went for maybe a minute and a half. But, you know, the TNA World Champion is on WrestleMania with Randy Orton. Could you ask for anything else better? Is what I was gonna say. And then Orton picked him up, and then he showed him around the rest of the arena, and then he RKO'd him again, which was completely unnecessary. Ruthless aggression! That's all I gotta say about that, folks. Let's continue on with the show. This is awkward. This is very awkward. Let's look at. I'm just gonna give this an NA, and we're just gonna pretend this didn't exist. Okay, we're gonna pretend this didn't exist at all. Continuing on. You know, I think this match is probably gonna have the most mixed reception throughout all the matches tonight. I don't think anyone's gonna hate this match, but I also don't think anyone's gonna love this match. Also, me personally, I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was a straightforward, ground and pound, main event style, 2004-esque type of match, in my opinion. That's how it felt to me. You know, like, you got some very, very strong wrestling from these guys. Nobody really botched anything. It was just straightforward. I think what made this match a little bit more disappointing is not the wrestlers themselves. I wish the crowd was a little bit more hot for it. You know, I think that's what hurt it for me as far as, like, the energy. Like, the energy wasn't quite there from the audience. If they were hot for this match, I feel like this would have felt a lot better. But, you know, it wasn't. And unfortunately, the guys kind of suffered for it from the lack of the audience legitimately getting into it. But as far as the match in itself, the guys went out there and they had a killer match. You know, two spots in particular. Well, there was one cool thing that I did notice. Like, that fucking drone that Logan Paul was using throughout the match was actually pretty cool. And, like, when he used it in his entrance, and then he threw it back out to the crowd, and then they got this really, really, really beautiful shot of Logan and AJ wrestling in the ring, and it's like doing a 360 around the ring with them wrestling. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really, really cool. I thought at first they were going to incorporate it into the match in itself, but they didn't. But I thought it was a really cool camera shot. But two spots in particular that I really, really liked. Bro, AJ Styles hit Logan Paul with such a wicked fucking brainbuster. Just completely wrecked his shit. That was a gnarly. That's got to be one of the safest fucking crazy moves I think I've ever seen. Just fucking brutalized him with that brainbuster. And, you know, Logan Paul did his thing too. You know, he got in a nice buckshot lariat that they did mention by name, or at least Pat McAfee did. I feel like Michael, and especially Wade, because he knows the moves. I'll get to that in a minute too. They know the moves, but, like, you know, they didn't quite mention it all too well. But what the fuck is with Michael Cole tonight fucking up the names of moves, bro? Like, he did it earlier with Bianca Belair when she hit the 450 and he called it a shooting star press for some fucking weird reason. He did correct himself after Wade Barrett corrected him. And then he did it again in another move, but I can't remember the move that was done in the match in itself. But it made me look at him. Oh, yeah, like the alley-oop powerbomb, right? And he called it the over powerbomb. Like, what the fuck? Like, or Vince McMahon naming moves that you don't know the name of? What the fuck? He called it the over powerbomb. What the fuck is an over powerbomb? But eventually we did get to the finish where one of Logan Paul's people... Actually, you know what? I can't remember his name, but that's the guy. I recognize his face. He's the guy that was in that CoffeeZilla video when they were exposing Logan Paul for his Crypto Zoo bullshit. I don't know his name, but he was the manager that was telling Coffee, oh, you know, you can't talk to me about this, but if you run with this, I just want to let you know, I'm not going to say we're going to sue you, but we're probably going to sue you. But he didn't say that. He's that guy. I forgot his name, though. Jeff, right? Jeff some shit. I can't remember, but he was the guy in the CoffeeZilla video. He's a douchebag. He was a part of that Crypto's bullshit also. But Karrion Kross stopped him when he was going to throw some brass knuckles in there for Logan Paul. They're still continuing this fucking angle that they're running with, which I'm not really too familiar with. I guess Karrion is now doing the whole Sean O'Hare Devil's Advocate gimmick. I'm assuming. I think that's what he's doing nowadays. But he did play a role to a certain degree inside the match. And, you know, he grabbed the brass knuckles and he was trying to tell AJ to use the brass knuckles in order to take out Logan Paul. And AJ said he could do it without it. He threw the brass knuckles on the floor and he ended up taking out. What's his name? Oh, that was the spot that I forgot to mention too. The 1 out of 2 moves. Fucking Logan Paul did a lion salt, right? So he set him up. I guess he did like the Young Bucks fucking move where they do the what would you call it? The rolling fireman's carry into like the moonsault. But he did it by himself though, right? He did the rolling fireman's carry, and I guess AJ was too far away. Like the dude was like near the opposite side of the ring, bro. And this motherfucker did a lion salt from one end of the ring all the way to the opposite side of the ring. Fucking crazy athleticism. Again, the match was good, bro. It's just the crowd was... I don't know why they weren't... The match was good. I don't know why the crowd wasn't eating it up. That's what hurt it for me, man. But nevertheless, though, like I said, going to the finish, after AJ Styles threw the brass knuckles on the floor, he eventually set up for the phenomenal forearm. When he jumped and springboard, he missed, and then Logan hit him with the Lex Luger fucking right arm shit that he does. I guess I don't know if he has a plate in his arm like Lex, or if he just punched him in the face because, you know, he's a boxer. But he punched him in the face, and he ended up hitting him with his new finisher, which I wouldn't even know what you call it. It's like what's that girl's name? Zoe Starks. It's like her move, but she ends it with a knee. He instead ends it with a DDT. Fucking crazy ass fucking finisher. I like it though. It's a lot better than that stupid ass punch. I think he calls it the pollinator or some shit like that. The pulverizer. That's what he calls it. And he ended up getting the win off of it. Like I said, the match in itself, if it has some canned noise inside it or something, I felt like it would have been a lot better as far as the energy goes. But I mean, I guess the crowd they weren't into it. They weren't, and it's a shame because, you know, this match kind of reminds me a little bit, like in the sense, not the in-ring work, but it kind of reminds me of Malenko and Chris Benoit at Hog Wild back in '96, where they had a killer fucking match, but the crowd, they just weren't. I mean, they were being, well, to be fair, they were acting like douchebags and chanting random shit at Benoit and Malenko, but it was similar to that in the sense like you got some really, really good in-ring work and no one's really reacting to it. You know, I don't have to sing the praises of Logan Paul anymore. I mean, at this point, you can hate him, you can love him, say whatever you want. The dude's legit. He's fucking good. He's better than most of the wrestlers I see nowadays. He's fucking legit. So there's no need for me to sing his praises. I don't see him as a celebrity wrestler anymore. I kind of see him as a real wrestler nowadays. So he delivered again. He rarely has a bad match. So kudos on Logan Paul. Don't like him as a person, as a wrestler. He's, no pun intended, but phenomenal. And good shit on AJ Styles. Just a solid middle of the card WrestleMania match. Can't ask for more, can't ask for less. But again, I really wish that crowd would have gotten a little bit more into it. Devontae, why you thought so bad about Becky Lynch? We don't even know tonight. Is she gonna be the partner? It might be Nikki Bella. It might be Nikki. You never know. It might be somebody from NXT. I'm gonna bite my ear now. I'm gonna dribble out my mouth uncontrollably without realizing that I'm dribbling. Fucking idiots. No shit, it was Becky Lynch. Like, come on, dude. I swear, man. The lengths that we go to in order to just not stand on our own opinions. Everybody, literally, as soon as Lyra said, I got a partner, or fucking, what's his name? Greg from Good Mike Ward, the general manager from Raw. As soon as he said, Lyra, you need to find a partner, everybody and their mother and their grandmother and their dead grandparents knew who the fuck they were talking about. We knew it was going to be Becky Lynch. Again, it's just crazy. When I made that Bayley video earlier, how many people wouldn't actually engage with the actual argument in itself? It was so many deflections, so many people saying things such as, Devontae, we don't even know who the partner is. It might be Becky, or it might not be Becky, Or they were saying other shit like, well, I mean, Bayley, she went over last year at WrestleMania, as if that has anything to do with the disrespect that WWE did to her today. Again, it's just, the craziness. But now that we actually know for a fact that, yeah, obviously it was fucking Becky Lynch who was going to be the mystery partner, she came out, a very tepid reaction, but I'm not going to put that on Becky. Again, this crowd, man, this is one of the worst WrestleMania crowds of all time. They were a little bit hot earlier tonight, but like, they gradually just got worse again, and now we pretty much have the exact same type of reaction that we had last night. This crowd, this is the worst. Never come back to Nevada ever again. This is such a horrible fucking crowd. It's one of those things where I wish, man, one of these days, take WrestleMania overseas, man. Like, or even to Canada again, bro. Like, this crowd does not deserve a WrestleMania. This is so dog shit. This audience is so fucking dog shit. But this match right here, it wasn't bad. Again, I felt like if, again, the crowd was more into it, it would have been a little tiny bit better. But even with the crowd not being that much into it, I will say that this was pretty average. Not necessarily bad, just average. And I'll tell you this much. How bad was WrestleMania last night? If this match was on last night's WrestleMania, this would probably be top 3 best matches of the night. That's how bad last night's WrestleMania was. Again, this is probably the weakest match of the card, but it's not to say that like it was downright fucking horrible. It was just short, very average, Raw-esque type of match. The girls didn't make any mistakes. It was just a means to an end. Like, it was just there just to, reintroduce, Becky Lynch to the audience again. And I guess it did its job. There's nothing really worth noting about the match, besides the fact that obviously Becky and Lyra are going to win the match, which makes Lyra she has 2 belts now, right? She's the Intercontinental champion and she's the tag team champion. So good on her when it comes to that. Becky Lynch is a former Intercontinental, I wouldn't mind seeing Becky with Intercontinental. She's too big for that belt. But, I wouldn't, Becky Lynch was was what she calls her Becky 2 belts or whatever a couple of years ago. So, there's a distinction there. The Irish women, right? The Irish women are Irish. You would think Vince was booking this. He's Irish too, by the way. Couldn't tell from the McMahon name. But, they ended up winning the match. Becky ended up hitting her shitty manhandle slam on Liv, which I guess actually looked pretty decent on this because Liv is actually small, so she can get a little bit more height on her. And they picked up the win. And like I said, somewhat of a nothing match, but it did its job, right? Its job was just to reintroduce Becky Lynch. And now I feel even more vindicated in the sense of, wait, hold up, who's showing up right now? Hang on for a second, guys. Oh, it's Austin. Okay, cool. I thought Austin's probably might throw a stunner or something. Is he coming out to cut a promo, or is he coming out as a part of the Hall of Fame class last night? I can't tell. But damn, I just turned up the TV. Austin got a pop. That woke that crowd up. Leave it up to Austin to be the guy. It's been like fucking what? Like him being a consistent performer. It's been over 20 years now. Of course, leave it up to Austin to get the big pop. Not even hasn't been an active wrestler in over 20 years and still gets the biggest pop of the fucking night. Of course, because he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's the greatest wrestler of all time. But yeah, I'm gonna watch this right here because I want to see what's gonna happen because it's Austin, and if Austin's on my TV, I don't care about anything else around me. So we're gonna watch that right now. But yeah, Lyra and Becky. I mean, good job, I guess. And whatever. That's just the best way to explain the match, folks. Just how do you defend this? Anybody? How do you defend this main event? This is going to go down as one of the worst main events in WrestleMania history. This was, I mean, and they had, and the sad part about it is, this is the loudest that the audience was. This was the loudest. They gave everything to this match. And this was the definition of underwhelming. All of this just now feels like a complete waste of time. This whole feud feels like it was a complete waste of time. So they come out to the match, they get in the ring, and they slow pace it, as you would expect a WrestleMania match to be of this caliber, right? You got the audience in the palm of your hands, so you want to work them as much as possible. And that's what they did. They worked them as much as they can. Cody Rhodes was the heel in this match in the sense that the audience just did not like him. They booed the dog shit out of Cody Rhodes, which was kind of expected when you've been hearing how they've been reacting to him these past couple of weeks. John Cena was the babyface in the sense that the crowd they were fully behind him. And you know, like, they built up the pace, and then it just turned into WrestleMania 29 with Rock and Cena. In the sense that they just had infinite finishers, and they just spammed it. They spammed their finishers. I can't even tell you, I barely can tell you any maneuver that John Cena did outside of his finishers and his signatures. I think you got one Tornado DDT. That was it. You got one Tornado DDT. You got one 5-knuckle shuffle that he paced himself. He didn't do it fast paced because he's a heel. That's understandable. You got a bunch of kicks, punches, and AAs. He just spammed the AA over and over and over again throughout the match. Cody, in response, did a couple of cutters, and he spammed the crossroads over and over and over and over again. But it didn't bother me all too much because I thought to myself, okay, the crowd is into it. This is going to be the part because we ended up getting a ref bump. The audience stood up. They all knew what time it was. What's going to happen? This is the part where the cinema starts to kick in, right? Who's going to interfere? What's going to happen? We got Travis Scott. Travis Scott walks towards the ring with the Hardcore Championship belt because he's Cactus Jack. He gets in the ring apron and Cody Rhodes tells him to come in the ring. He gets in the ring. He tries to hit Cody Rhodes with a right hand. Cody blocks it, turns it into the crossroads. Pushes him out of the ring. Mind you, before this all even happened, Cody hit the crossroads on Cena, and that's when Travis Scott pulled the referee out of the ring, and Cody invited him into the ring. Cody then turns around and John Cena was there waiting with the Undisputed Championship belt. He attempted to hit Cody. Cody blocked it. And him and Cena struggled over the WWE Undisputed Championship belt. They were having a tug of war with it before Cody Rhodes. He pulled it out of Cena's hands. It's in Cody's hands now. He's threatening to hit Cena with the belt. Cena's pleading with him not to do so. Cody lets his guard down for 1 second and Cena kicks him in the dick. He picks up the championship belt and he hits Cody with the championship belt. The referee gets in the ring. 1, 2, 3. And that was the end of the match, folks. There was no Rock. There was nobody associated with the storyline. There were no surprises like Seth and Paul, like people were speculating on the internet. No, the big surprise was Travis Scott. That was the big surprise. I cannot put into words how disappointing this match was. This was bad. And you know, you're gonna get some defenders out there. I don't know what to say to you people. Like, at this point, if you defend this match, then you're just gonna say anything because WWE is the top brand. Like, you can make up as much excuses as you want, wait for the story to play out, all this other shit. Folks, the story did play out at WrestleMania. This was the road to WrestleMania, and this was the main event. What Cena does in the future has nothing to do with this main event. Like, cut it out. Just stop. This was a bad match. This whole road to WrestleMania climaxing with this was bad. This was terrible. This was underwhelming. This was disappointing. I don't know how you can sit here and feasibly try to defend this match without just looking like a damn fanboy. But I know some people are going to try to defend it. I don't know how, but some people are going to try to defend it. We still got a couple of months to go with John Cena and his current run. He's now the WWE champion. So we have to see what place Cena's going to be playing as time goes on. But so far, this has been a complete flop. His heel turn has been a complete... It's just been dog shit. You know what I mean? It's just such a stark contrast from what we got last year. You know, Cody and Roman, they went out there and it was a classic WrestleMania match with a bunch of surprises, twists and turns, a story being told left and right. To go from that classic, excellent match to whatever the hell this was is nothing short of astonishing in the worst way possible. This match, this entire night 2 of WrestleMania is like the complete opposite of last night's. Whereas the undercard for last night was absolutely horrible, but it was saved by the main event. Whereas tonight had a pretty good undercard, and the main event was disastrous. I need to know the producer for this match. I need to know who scripted and who put together this match and who watched this backstage and actually thought that what they were doing was compelling. None of this was compelling television. This entire feud was unappealing trash. And you would think that, okay, it's the main event of WrestleMania. They can overcome this. They can have an excuse to make up for how bad this WrestleMania was. And it was just as bad as the feud. It was just as bad as the build-up. I just can't believe they did that match in the way they did that match. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't think I'm supposed to get it. Triple H, people who were behind him as far as the creative is considered, they should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed of themselves. So, overall, WrestleMania Night 2, I guess I'll probably give it like a 7. I'll give it a 7 because the undercard was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. Again, it's the reverse from Night 2, where it's like, you know, like the first 2 matches ended up being like the worst matches on the card, arguably. I mean, you can make an argument for Charlotte and Becky, but, you know, a subpar tag team match, and then probably the worst match of the entire event with Jay and Gunther. Whereas tonight, you had a subpar tag team match yet again, but with the women, leading into the worst match of the entire night with Cena and Cody Rhodes. And arguably the second worst match of WrestleMania weekend. This is probably going to go down as one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. When you take into context the build to it. Because like the undercard, as good as tonight's undercard was, to just leave on such a disastrous note, and then you take everything into context with yesterday's show. Man, I wish this wasn't for the championship belt. I wish that triple threat match last night was for the championship belt, and that instead closed out this show. Because if that was the case, then this would be one of the best WrestleManias ever. But no, that's not the case. Instead, we ended up getting this dog shit, and well, that just is what it is. I think I'm more surprised and shocked by the fact that, like, no appearance from The Rock at all. That's wild. That's crazy. No, he's the one that set all this up, and we didn't get not one sighting of The Rock. I'm still somewhat in shock by that finish. I can't even tell you how long the match went. There's no way this match went. If it went 15 minutes, I will be shocked. I'd be shocked if this match went 15 minutes. That's something else too. This has got to be like one of the shorter matches in WrestleMania history. If this has anything to do with John Cena and him being fragile, you know, him not being able to go as he could back in the days, which is obvious and evident. He's not the same athlete. He's older. If this has anything to do with him not wanting to risk injury, because there might be a shot, he might be filming a movie sometime this year, or maybe he's in the process of doing one right now that we're unaware of, and he didn't want to risk his body, I guess so be it, right? But then when I put the championship belt on him, I understand for the purposes of story, I guess, but like, you know, realistically, if you know he can't go, then is this what we're going to have to suffer through until he loses the championship belt? All right, I got nothing else left to say, folks. Just jump in and let me hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. I got to hear some opinions about the main event. I would like to hear anybody try to defend the main event. I like to hear your overall thoughts on WrestleMania. My official conclusion and my official analysis is night 1 was horrible with a great main event, the best match of this entire weekend. Minus NXT, I didn't see anything on that show, but I'm pretty sure nothing compares to this match. And then you got night 2 with a pretty solid undercard in a terrible main event. Like I said, I'd probably give this entire show maybe a 7. And considering yesterday was a 6, I'm probably gonna rate this entire WrestleMania as maybe a 6.25, average it out in the median, which is very low for a WrestleMania. Just brace yourselves, folks. We gotta make it towards the end now with John Cena as the champion, and this is what we got. There's not going to be any Travis Scott going in the future, nor do I care, or nor do I want that. And if Rock can show up for WrestleMania, what makes you think he's going to show up anytime soon? And if he does, why couldn't he show up at WrestleMania if he can show up now? Just put more time and effort into the newer stars. And honestly, I'm at this point where I'm just over it. Just do whatever you guys want to do. Get this shit over with and let's put it to bed already. Like I said, what a very disappointing way to go off the air. What a very disappointing way to end this review. I'm just gonna go head out. Talk amongst each other in the comment section. As always, my name is Devontae, aka Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces. Ice. I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know what else to say.